it's not really cool because nobody knows what I look like to begin with, so it'd be kind of ridiculous.
But if the lady says you look like Duck Dynasty, they can kind of get a representation. You got a hobo beard and long hair. What more do they need to know?
Well, the best part about it was I called my brother right after I got off the phone with you, and guess what the first thing he said to me?
What?
Were you wearing a bandana? I'm not kidding. Word for fucking word, the same thing you said.
Well, if you're wearing a bandana, I can understand.
I know, that's what he said too. I just started laughing and he goes, what? I was like, that is the exact same thing that fucking Jake told me. Same thing, and the first thing that both of you said, were you wearing the bandana?
What did he say? He's like, fucking great minds, think alike.
I just thought that was great. That gave me a pretty good laugh.
I bet. Alright, should we just get rolling into it?
Might as well.
Alright, welcome to the next edition, Cautionary Tales from the Red Chair, brought to you by Jake.
And Sam.
So what's big in the world today? 4th of July was happening, huh? That just happened.
Did happen.
So what did you do? Just besides get wasted, I'm assuming.
I actually sat in the front lawn, watched the fireworks from the house, and just I got a keg here. Why would I want to go anywhere else?
Yeah. How was the view from your front stoop?
Didn't see like one or two of them, but
like the low ones, I imagine.
Got the gist.
Because you're, 3-4 blocks away from the river's edge where they're shooting them off?
Yep.
Roughly?
Most of them were going like across the street. You could see them through the trees, which wasn't a big deal anyway. But
yeah, you don't want to see the low shit anyway. That's not the cool stuff. It's the big ones.
I don't really care to see any of it anyway. Once you've seen a firework, you've seen fireworks.
That is true. That is true.
They're cool when you're a kid, and now I just don't want to fuck around with the crowds.
Dude, I kind of enjoyed it. Because we had the nice seats. Because they had a concert this year beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So I played a bunch of like country and old classic rock. I don't even remember who the act was. But I guess the fireworks were delayed for 10 minutes. Because there was a medevac that had to come and drop some poor son of a bitch off at the hospital. So they couldn't be shooting off fireworks.
No, I bet.
When the medevac's trying to land at the hospital.
Oh, have a flashback of Nam.
Yeah, no shit. And that poor guy that's getting flown in there is probably like, son of a bitch, this is the whole reason I got hurt.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted an awesome seat.
Yep, just wanted a great view of the fireworks.
Oh, fuck.
But no.
$20,000 fireworks display for him.
Yeah.
No, we had tickets to the both the Wilson Park and the Heritage Park one.
Heritage Park? Hester?
Yeah, Hester Park.
They have tickets at Hester?
Yeah.
Or do they do VIP seating there?
I don't know. We gave both of them away, though.
Yeah, because we used to always go, when I was a kid, to the Hester Park side, because we used to live over there on 7th Avenue. So it was like super clutch just to walk down there. See, you wouldn't have actually had it too bad. You could have went all the way down there and just walked down there.
Yeah, and then we still would have had to deal with all the fucking people coming back and all that shit.
Yeah.
Would have been a hellish walk back.
We actually scored out pretty legit. We parked down by, because we were on the Wilson side, and we parked down by the fairgrounds, kind of facing towards Sauk Rapids. So as soon as it was over, we just kind of waited a little bit, and then I'm like, let's wait out the crowd. And so we sat there for about 5 minutes, and then I'm like, well, I'm getting a little restless. Let's just go. And then as soon as we get back to the car and get in, starts raining. I'm like, oh, thank God. That would have sucked, because I would have been pissed to be drugged down to those fucking fireworks, deal with those fucking people, and then get wet. Because I was like, all right, we skated out of this pretty legit. I was kind of banged up a little bit, so I was like, whatever, going with the flow. And then we went in and out. Luckily, no hassles with any crazy-ass people, and traffic was pretty smooth. We busted right into Sauk Rapids, took the back roads the rest of the way to the Eagles Club, and here I am, drinking a beer, talking about it with you.
Yep.
Fucking living life.
Life goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of fireworks, though.
You're just not a big fan of people.
Yes, that's
in general.
The majority of it. Yeah. People are kind of...
You're anti-people.
Yeah, I know. And it's not that I have like an anti-social anxiety or any kind of social disorder.
Definitely don't have social anxiety.
No,
probably have the opposite of it.
Yeah,
like
I don't.
Social disdain.
It's no social disorders in any way that they could medically say it. I just fucking hate people, and it's not. I'm not just saying that. I really, truly do hate them. You get people in a group, and they are just fucking moronic. Oh. Nobody pays attention to what anybody else does. Only thing, and Oh, the one thing that pisses me off more than anything is when you're at a place where there's a general consensus of this is an area where you're supposed to be fucking walking, and somebody just stops right in front of you.
With a fucking stroller.
Yeah. And, oh, man, or cuts you off and stops. That's the one that really pisses me off. They're looking at a stupid map of the fairground or something, step right in front of you, and then just, and just doesn't pay attention to anything. And you're like, dude, I've been walking 3 blocks down this road, and you just cut in front of me and...
Stop.
I should be able to just walk right through you, but no, that's assault, brother. Fuck. No, that's the reason that I hate going around groups is that I can take it for a little while, but once the whole... probably about the first half hour or something like that, that's when I start doing the whole Sam Smash shit.
Oh.
Where I just really want to take people out when they start doing dumb shit.
Well, because it's basically like individuals are okay.
Oh, yeah.
Groups of people, terrible.
I'll take thousands of individuals as long as there's enough space between them and the next person.
Yeah, because
if they can communicate, then they become idiots.
Well, luckily for like the fireworks, we were in and out of there. You know, it was like we got there half an hour before the fireworks started. So we found a little secluded place off to the side where really nobody was. Just set up shop there with the 6 of us and watched them, and then just fucking bolted. And so we really didn't have to deal too much with people. But I got that last Wednesday when I was at Summertime by George. We were walking through like the marketplace where they have all the food vendors and they sell the knickknacks.
Oh, especially around food vendors. Then people don't fucking pay attention at all.
It was so funny.
What do you want this, man?
Yeah, because Andrea's like, you know, going through, we got something to eat, stuff like that. And then she stopped for, the fuck was it? It was delicious. It was a cheesecake waffle cone. A Reese's Pieces cheesecake waffle cone. It was legit. But this is at like the end of like being around, walking through this whole goddamn thing with all those idiots. And then she's like, oh, I'm gonna get this. I'm like, okay, great. And I start walking away. She's like, wait, you're not gonna stand in line with me? I'm like, I'm getting the fucking hatred deep inside of me. She's like, what? I'm like, the hatred for people. Yep. I am about to go fucking banshee on all these fuckers.
It's either I go over here and sit underneath this tree for a couple of minutes and zen myself back up, or the next douchebag that cuts me off, and God forbid that douchebag is on my way to the tree.
Yep. Lord help his soul.
Yep. Because I will destroy him without him ever even noticing I was there. That's the whole point of him cutting me off.
Oh, God. And that's the worst part, is when you're in a place like that and you actually have a destination that you know.
And you get cut off 5-6 times.
I mean, it's like, oh my God, I'm the only one here walking with any fucking purpose. Yeah. Why are you all getting in my way?
Exactly.
I know where I want to go. Just fucking move.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you want to do, go off in the fucking corner and figure it out.
Leah doesn't understand why I get so mad about that kind of shit, but I really do. I think about it this way: if you look back at like, just say like 1,000 years ago, when there was a lot less people on this planet, think about how much time they probably had to wait for somebody else in their lifetime. Now think about in our lifetime how long, you know, one of us on average are going to have to wait because of somebody else.
Oh, God, that's like 90% of your existence.
Yeah.
Fuck, I know.
I mean, it comes down to even the stupid points of, like, not going 30 on the road, they're going 27.
Yeah.
And because of that, you go from one light to the next, and it's red. To the next one, it's red. To the next one, it's red. Because they work on that kind of a timer. So, if you look at it that way, and you have that douchebag in front of you every day of your life, how many minutes do you think you waste every goddamn day waiting for some douchebag that can't follow the same rules of society that aren't that hard to follow? 30 miles an hour is not that fucking fast to go in an automobile.
No.
So if you can't drive 30 miles an hour, you should not have a license.
Yeah.
Because if your fucking reaction time can't handle 30 miles an hour, really, get a Segway. I mean, seriously. Get the fuck off my road, though. That's all I gotta say, because I hate waiting for people. And the first time that I sat there and I actually just tried to, you know, even mentally grasp how many minutes per day, week, year, lifetime we spend just waiting for somebody else's stupidity.
Yeah.
And then all these times come back to me when I think about it or when I start doing it, when I go out into a public place. First couple of times somebody cuts me off, I'm okay with it. Gets me a little mad. But after a couple of times, that starts creeping in my head, being like, I've been cut off and had to wait behind people for half an hour today? And that's not even waiting in a line for something that I'm trying to buy. That's just fucking waiting for somebody that just cut me off.
Yeah.
Then I start getting extremely pissed off, because at that point I just look at it and go, you're wasting my life, people! I could be sitting on the couch right now!
Wasting it the way I want to waste it. You're wasting it for me without my consent.
Exactly! I did not say yes to this. Granted, I wouldn't have done anything with it anyway, but I did not say yes to this. It is not your job to fuck my life. Yeah. My parents did a good job of that themselves.
Yeah. Well, isn't that the old saying? Your time's not wasted when you're wasted?
Yep, exactly. Oh, no, I really truly do. That's the part that pisses me off about large crowds. It's just how inconsiderate and how stupid people can be because they don't notice anybody else. They don't have any awareness of surroundings.
Oh, yeah.
Everything revolves about what they're doing right now. And that just pisses me the fuck off. It really does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, speaking of, like, crowds and being in public, did you hear about that New York Yankees fan that's suing ESPN and MLB?
For what?
Because he was at, obviously, a Yankees game, being a Yankees fan, but he was sleeping in the bleachers, like, in the stands, like, just sawing fucking logs, And so, obviously, it's baseball. They have nothing to do but fill time.
Yeah.
During the broadcast. So, of course, the announcer, the cameraman finds him. They put him on, and the announcer's kind of like, oh, he doesn't know what kind of game he's missing. Blah, blah. And then, of course, it becomes a viral video.
Did you have the penis on his head?
No, but, yeah. That'd be great.
This way don't pass out.
Whatever what is that called?
Circle me, Bert. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a teleprompter. That's what scrolls.
Yeah, I have no idea.
What the fuck
they should have never given John Madden one. That's all I know.
But the goddamn scribbly thing on the fucking picture. But I guess
the tablet before tablets.
Yeah. But I guess being a viral video, he got all these like hateful comments. So he's suing him for like mental
pain
anguish.
And suffering.
Yeah. $10 million.
You'll probably get a settlement out of court for like $50,000.
Fuck that.
I bet you they will. I bet you the MLB
you deserve nothing.
will. I know. But I bet you the MLB will just be like, $20,000.
They can't. They can't, because then every time they show some asshole who's fucking wasted,
they just won't show any assholes like that.
That's wasted and steals a foul ball from a little kid. They'll never be able to show that, because then that'll be defamation.
But that's what I'm saying, is they just won't show that shit anymore.
You can't allow that precedent to be set.
No negotiation with terrorists, domestic or abroad.
And it was so funny, was the Washington Post had the headline, "Snore Loser."
Oh, that is one of the worst puns I've ever heard in my life. The Washington Post
is all about that.
Yeah, they are. They really are.
Worst puns. They're just a fucking rag. Just a rat toilet paper.
Man, that is a horrible, horrible pun. Snore loser. It's not funny.
You're so punny. Well, staying on the sports lament, did you watch any of the World Cup today?
What? No, I
the
can't do that.
Semifinals.
I can't do that anymore. We've already discussed how boring
Germany
this shit
versus
is.
Brazil, the host country. Did you hear the final score?
No.
Fucking Brazil got spanked 7-1.
Germany took the cup, huh?
No, they're going to the finals versus the Netherlands or some other place.
This could be a World War I and II rematch.
Exactly. I can't remember who the other team is.
I wonder if the Germans just come out there and start laughing at him, going, "We will do it again."
Because I think the Netherlands are going to win.
Oh, it'd just be hilarious if they did that. Tried to do the head games like that. If we know how easy you fold, we've done it twice before. In fact, I think I have your great-grandfather's clock in my house.
Whoa.
But that's why they won't allow me into that kind of shit.
Yeah. Could you imagine Germany versus Israel?
Yeah. Never happened! Just walk on the field and start yelling that. You made it all up, you assholes!
Yeah. How'd we find most of the Jews? Your other Jews sold them out!
Oh, God, that would just be hilarious. I wonder if that would be one of the things that they're like, red card. Come on, get the fuck
out. If they booted some guy out of the World Cup for biting somebody, they definitely...
Well, you can't Tyson in soccer.
But they would definitely boot your ass for being a, and whatever,
anti-Semitic.
Yeah, and Holocaust denier.
You gotta admit, I'm not saying that I have any problem with Jews. I'm just saying you gotta admit that would be something where you'd just be like, alright, I gotta laugh at that just because of the stupidity as well as it's not too soon.
Exactly. And then after the game, they're like, good game. Hit the showers? You first.
We'll follow you in.
We'll wait till you're done.
Oh, God. It sucks to be German. It really does. Because if I look at it, I'm either American or I'm German. So I'm going to say American, obvious reasons. Yeah. But my heritage is from Germany, and it really sucks. So there's nothing to be proud of.
No.
Yeah, we killed a lot of people for very stupid reasons.
Yeah.
Twice. We started an entire world pissed off at us. Twice. That's how badass Germans were, though. If you look at the size of the actual country versus the size of some of our states, it's laughable that a country that large could actually pose a problem to the world that many times.
Yeah. Well, are they that badass, or are they that fucking stupid to let the global...
I'm going to say they were that badass because if you look at the technology that they had back in World War II, they just didn't. If you would have given them the engineering that they had and the resources that a country like we had or like Russia had, with as far spread out as it is.
Oh God, yeah.
That would have, we would all be speaking German right now.
That's true.
If they had the resources, because they had the engineering, they just didn't have the resources to keep going with it. Because after U.S. got into it, we basically, the first things that we started doing were bombing like rail lines and shit like that. And a lot of European countries were pissed off at that we were doing it because that's how they were getting all their shit in and out too. We were just like, yeah, well, fuck you. The Germans are using that, and we're not going to have them kill a bunch of us. And you guys are not big enough to get them yourselves, so we had to come here.
And we have our own supply lines. Yeah. So fuck off.
That's why we invested heavily in trucks.
Yeah, I suppose that argument does make sense, considering we stole all their goddamn scientists to give us a space program.
If we didn't actually, stop their supply lines the way that we did, because the only other country that was actually trying to really stop their supply lines was Russia. You talk about all the other countries, they were trying to keep the supply lines going because it was working for them as well.
Yeah.
But... fuck you guys. We're not going to die because you guys want another train load. Fucking take a bike. I don't care.
Take a bike. I don't know. Just all of a sudden, I just thought of like some weird German guy with a pointy helmet riding a little bike, like a beach cruiser. I don't know. Oh, sorry, that's all me in my head.
All the while whistling. Oh yeah, he's got to be whistling because he's German.
What is he whistling?
I don't know.
The Führer's tune. God, I wish I knew the theme song of Hogan's Heroes right now.
No, nothing. Oh, had to do it.
That took us in a completely different route.
It really did. I didn't know it. Yeah, this is the first time on our podcast that we've had a history lesson.
Yeah, no shit.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Learn something new every day. Kangaroos cannot jump backwards.
Ooh.
Little nugget for you. So if you're ever in a fight with a kangaroo, get behind him.
And horses can't go downstairs, apparently.
Yep. I've heard that one before, too. They can go upstairs, they really can, but they can't go down. Yep. Their shoulders can't move out forward like that. They can't hold their weight.
They just go fucking...
Apparently they crumble. Kettles. I've never seen it, and I don't want to, because it doesn't sound like it's a good thing.
Let's get a fucking horse in here.
No, let's not get a horse in here.
There was just a police barricade over there. They had to have some mounted officers.
I don't know if we have... Oh, we have to, because we do it during the fairs and shit like that.
Yeah, there's got to be mounted patrol.
Mounies.
Yeah.
I want to be a Mountie.
Regulators!
I've never even fucking been on a horse, so... Well, take that back. I've done the pony ride in a circle before. I know I've done that when I was a kid. Every kid's done that.
Okay. I have.
It wasn't last year, Jake. Don't look at
Okay.
me like that. I'd crush a fucking pony. I weigh more than a pony. It'd be like my little Brokeback if I fuck with it.
Because that ranch we went to in Montana last month, they had activity where you could do a horse ride for like an hour. $100 to ride a horse for an hour. Fuck off.
I don't know exactly how accurate this is, but from what I've heard, on an average horse, it takes around $300 a month just to feed them normally. If you want to give them stuff like a varied diet and stuff, it's going to cost you even more. But like the bare bones is like $300 a month to just own a horse.
Can't they just eat grass?
No.
Why?
Apparently they need hay or something like that.
That's
And I don't fucking
No wonder
know.
they're called beasts of burden. Fucking
Hey,
douches.
it was perfect when they were a transportation source. I mean, I'd rather buy hay than gas any day.
Yeah.
But then again, I like to be able to hit the highway and go interstate and be in another state in a couple hours, not a couple days. You imagine that kind of shit in today's economy where they start talking about,
Jesus.
well, you can take like 1 week off every year for a vacation. Be like, oh, wow, so I can go a county away with my horse, huh? Yay!
But then you also didn't have somebody being like, "Hey, you can go on vacation," because it was usually like, "I'm trying to survive."
It's not called a vacation, it's called a hunting excursion.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta fucking till the field. You gotta milk those cows, son.
See, and I could live in a barter society like that because I think I'd be just fine with being a hunter. I'm good at that kind of stuff. I've got the patience and I've got the know-how, and I've also got the just sheer laziness of being like, no, I will sit someplace for hours and wait for something to come to me. In fact, if I don't have to move, awesome.
Yeah. If you can just drop dead right in front of me and gut itself, even better.
Well, I'm really good at hunting because of that. I'll sit someplace for hours, and I'm okay with this.
I'm okay with this.
I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I'm sitting here. This is comfy spot. Got my butt pillow.
Yeah, at fucking 5 in the morning in February in Minnesota, that would blow balls.
I used to do that. You remember the first year that I went deer hunting? I shot a shitload of deer. It's because we were out hunting in that big party, and they were like, "Well, we've got tags, so if you see them, shoot them." And then they were all making fun of me because I shoot them in the head. And I let a lot of them go too. If it was over like a 50-yard shot, I wasn't taking it because I had open sights, and I wanted to make sure I put it right in their eye. And I was getting so much shit about that. What if it's a trophy buck? Is it a fucking trophy buck?
Oh, yeah,
then why are we having this discussion?
If it was a trophy buck, I wouldn't have shot it in the fucking head.
Maybe you didn't understand when I told you that I'm okay with sitting for hours doing nothing. I'm lazy. I don't want to chase after something. If I'm going to shoot it, it's going to drop. I'm not the douchebag that's like, oh! Well, this is going to take me another 2 hours.
Yeah.
No. I shot at them, and when I hit them, they went... There was no running. They took one step, maybe, just out of sheer instinct. But then just right over.
Yeah.
And I went, woo!
I win.
Yep. But no, I didn't do the whole thing of, well, I'm going to try to get it in the heart. Fuck the heart. What if it moves just slightly? Because I did shoot at one that I missed the head. Because it moved right as I was pulling the trigger. So you could see the vapor trail. And if you've ever shot a high caliber rifle...
And I have not.
Or a high velocity rifle, I should say. It actually has a vapor trail that you can see if you're looking down the sights of the gun, or if you're a spotter for it and you actually look close enough, you can see the vapor trail of where the bullet actually left. And it only happens a split second and it's gone. But I saw the vapor trail of this bullet and right over the top of its head. I mean...
Did it hair like...
Well, and it was probably only 45 to 55, maybe 60 yards away from me, so... As soon as it heard that sound, it was going. And I put another one in the chamber, and I looked at it and went, yep.
That's done.
Yep.
I missed my
I
shot.
had my one shot.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
all
if I had a bow and arrow, I might, knock another bow or knock another arrow and let one go just because that's actually fair.
Yeah.
But I was looking at it going, I was shooting with a rifle that can, shoot 1,500 feet per second, and I missed the first shot that I just took 2 minutes lining up. I'm not going to pop shot at him and be like, sweet, I hit him in the fucking foot. Now I got to track him for 8 miles.
Yeah, and he's not going to be dead.
Exactly. I'm not starving at any point in time at this, though. I don't really care. I'm going to take my shot, and if that shot doesn't work, that deer got the better of me. There's been 2 deer in my life that have gotten away from me because of that rule. I took one shot and went, you got the better of me. Fuck you. You live for another day.
Have you ever encountered one where it just bounced right off him and he just looked at you like, what? Eyes glow a little red.
No, but that's always, or that's why I always leave one for myself. If I see that deer, I'm not letting him take me.
I'm leaving on my terms.
That's what I'm saying.
Fuck you, deer.
I knew I'd run into you eventually.
Son of a bitch.
It had to happen this way.
Yep, the Terminator.
Tell my wife I love her.
Most days.
Yep.
Most days.
It's 70%.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's new.
You're still relatively newlyweds.
Well, newlyweds, yes. Can you believe it's been 7 years since we've been together, though?
That's insane.
I know. It's almost a decade.
Fuck, that's a long time.
I had a fucking dumper already.
So you started dating in 2006?
The new cow.
That's insane.
Gotta give me some strange, yo.
Because you were just getting tons of that before you met her.
Oh, damn straight. And now that I'm even more shape.
Yeah, even better looking with your Duck Dynasty look.
Fuck you, you had to bring it up, didn't you? I knew I shouldn't have told you.
You know you're going to get shit about that all the time. Because finally I have something on you where, for me, it was always like, oh, fucking Hurley. Hey,
yeah, it was.
Hurley?
It was for a long time.
Oh, fucking Hurley. That's still
Well,
happening.
you actually looked like Hurley a little bit. I do not look like the Duck Dynasty guys. My beard is nowhere near as unkempt as theirs.
No, it's not as grizzled. You needed to get it like a ZZ Top. You need
Yeah, I'm gonna say if I'm gonna be Duck Dynasty guy, I'm gonna need another 2 years.
Well, you could just make it happen.
Make it. Easiest way to get to 3 is go through 1 and 2.
No shit, dude. Fucking A, man. Bite your bottom lip and give her.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do it, brah.
Brah. Fucking sun's out, guns out. Get my bro tank.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh. And that's all she wrote, folks.
Yep. Come the revolution. Abbreviated pod.
Yeah, this has been a weird pod. I'm liking it so far.
It's all over the fucking place.
This should be teaching this shit to school kids. Being like, no. Listen to these guys. This is what drugs do you.
Yep.
This is the new DARE program.
Yep.
It's our podcast.
And that's why we titled it Cautionary Tales.
Yeah, exactly.
Because even though we don't tell any cautionary tales, all the shit we're saying, you just have to listen to and be like, kids, do exactly the opposite of anything they're doing. You hear that anti-Semitic joke about the shower he just said? Steer away from that kind of
yeah, seriously, that's why we started this, is we were actually thinking we were going to get paid by the fucking people that do the "it's good to know."
Yeah. Damn it, we got fucked.
Yep. Well, they just haven't heard us yet.
That's true.
Those anti-Semitic comments will get us right on YouTube. I mean, I'm just saying.
I should like tweet the link to him.
Hashtag Mel Gibson. Now that I know what a hashtag is, I can actually use that as a joke.
Shit, son. So it was. I actually got a response last night on Twitter from University of Phoenix Online.
What?
Because did you hear about that new
yet.
investigation that they're doing with the GI Bill? is, I guess, the University of Phoenix Online is one of the highest, like, the university that receives the most, like, GI Bill money than any other university
Okay.
in, like, the country, and they have, statistically, they have, like, a 15%, like, graduation rate.
Yeah, they have a really low one.
And even if you do graduate, like, every employer just fucking laughs at you. Like, okay, yeah, you essentially printed that off the fucking computer.
Most colleges are that way nowadays, though. I
But
mean,
it has the perceived...
tech colleges
Yeah.
look the same way.
So there's a huge investigation as to whether or not, you know, they're doing what they can for soldiers and shit like that. So on my
Or
Twitter...
just taking their money.
Yeah, so and of course it's...
Just taking their money.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Like
not-
all universities do to begin with.
Exactly. So I just tweeted at him with my Another Please account, and I'm like, another institution robbing military veterans, please. And then I tweeted it at them, and then I was like, hashtag it, like, pathetic or some bullshit like that. And they actually responded to me.
Nice.
And they're like, well, we're not taking advantage of them. You can hear our comments from our, like, president about the situation. And I just tweeted them back. I'm like, I listened to the interview you guys had on PBS NewsHour last night, and your spokesperson, who was retired military, the only thing he could say was they chose. They chose this school. Now, they asked them, the reporter asked a very, direct questions as to, are you doing everything you can to help these people find jobs? Is this the best use of their GI Bill? And all he kept saying was, they chose to go with us. To me, all that equates to is they basically are saying to rape victims, you chose to go down that dark alley.
Well, it's the same goddamn thing of, like, they did in Alaska, being like, well, no, you have to pay for your rape kit, because what if you're just saying he raped you?
Exactly.
But, in this instance, I would actually have given him back, being like, all right, well, then another record keeping of your GI Bills of how much you intake per year versus the graduation rate, please. I mean... If you want to actually make me a believer that you're doing everything to help these people, give me how many military people are actually spending their GI Bills there and what the graduation rate of just the military is. I don't care about all the other students, just how many people go in there with a GI Bill and come out with nothing and don't have a GI Bill anymore. Because the GI Bill isn't like, oh, well, you get this for the rest of your life. No, you get so much money, and it depends on the schooling that you go to. Like, I do know that... if you just say if you're going into like the medical fields in one of the military branches, the GI Bill is a little bit different in that because usually you're taking classes while you're still in the military.
Yeah.
So you're still in the military, but you're going to school to becoming a doctor. When you come out of that shit, the military actually pays for that for you going to school for the most part. So I don't understand why this doesn't happen all the fucking time for everything. Like, why is it that if you go into the military to become a mechanic, you're not a certified mechanic? You still come out and have to go through civilian certification.
That's bullshit.
Let's just put it to you this way. An aircraft mechanic in the Air Force, let's just say, you're working on $60 million planes plus. And then when you come out of the Air Force...
And not to count all the lives.
Yeah.
That you're, not directly responsible, but for indirectly. Because, like, if your plane, your chopper that you're working on isn't up there to defend the boys on the ground...
Yeah.
That's a huge responsibility. That's the most certified mechanic you could be.
Some of these fucking planes that you're talking about, like, you're talking about the B-2 Spirit? That is a $1 billion plane. You're going to tell me that you're going to be able to have somebody working on that fucking plane, but if they came out of the Air Force, they have to get certified to work at a local airport. So you're going to tell me that this dude can work on a, $600 million aircraft, but he can't work on a $100,000 Cessna?
No.
I understand the difference between prop and jet, but it's the same difference. And why is it that military experience isn't? It's put it to you this way. This is what I don't understand about universities. Universities will actually give people credit for going on job experience, Why the fuck don't they just, one university say, all right, well, here we go. If you go into the military and you do this, we'll give you an automatic fuck.
Isn't that being basically like an internship where you have to like risk your life?
I'm waiting for a university to do it. To say, like, especially, you would think at this point that places like, an automotive would actually endear to that kind of stuff. Every person that goes through their training,
I'm surprised UTI doesn't do it.
We'll give them a crash course for, $500, and that comes right out of the GI Bill. So for $500, we give you the final exam that we have. If you can pass it, you get it. Yeah, you don't have to spend here for 2 years.
Oh yeah, that's definitely because.
And how is that not beneficial to the university?
Yeah,
because then all they have to do is have one dude there for one day, and they get $500.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I don't understand about this kind of shit. If you're talking about being like a lawyer or something like that, yes, there's different schooling that's involved. But if you're going to be talking about going into the military for a specific reason, such as being a mechanic, they teach you how to do it.
Yeah.
If you can work on a fucking tank, you can work on a semi. I'm just saying, it's a diesel engine.
Yeah. Because they had an interesting, basically like case study, maybe anecdotal evidence or whatever, in the PBS NewsHour report about the University of Phoenix, where they had this fella who was in the military, wanted to use his GI Bill with the University of Phoenix Online, talked to him, and they said, oh yeah, your military experience, we're going to count that as college credits, and with all of that, you'll be done in like 18 months. No worries. 2 years later, spent all of his GI Bill. And
now he's got at least 7,000 more that he's got to look at and if he wants to graduate.
And guess where he got a job? As a civilian contractor.
Walmart.
Being an electrician. A civilian contractor electrician at the same naval base he was stationed. So he could have got that exact same job.
Without going through it.
Yep, and saved him 2 years and all the bullshit and all the money. So he got...
And what does he have to show on his resume?
A fucking piece of paper.
Exactly. Of Phoenix. He's got something on his resume that has no merit to what he can actually do because he hasn't done anything else.
So basically, this poor son of a bitch gave his life, not his life, but gave a part of his life to service his country. Mm-hmm. And what does he get? A bullshit piece of paper that says, you are a veteran.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about you. People only care about their soldiers until they come home.
No. You're mistaken on that. People only care about the soldiers when they're actually part of the family.
But aren't they always part of the family?
Every single person in this country is going to say, well, yeah, I care about the soldiers, unless you're part of that bullshit family, and we're not even going to talk about that. But God hates pigs. But, I mean, nobody really cares. Everybody says they do. They get their fucking support the troop goddamn
they got
sticker
their
in the car,
fucking yellow ribbon across the old oak tree.
But nobody cares about a soldier unless you're the family of that soldier.
Oh, yeah.
How many soldiers have died that nobody will know about except for
the family?
The family.
And
so that's what I hate when people say that of, well, everybody likes you. No. Nobody really gives a fuck about soldiers except for the family of that soldier.
Yeah.
And they don't even give a fuck about other soldiers except for the soldier that they have in it.
That's true. That is true.
Everybody knows they're fighting for us, but nobody knows who they are, and nobody gives a fuck. It's a faceless mass that's just basically supposed to dominate whatever we say dominate.
Yeah.
And it's been that way since Roman times. I mean, it's been that way since people first started fighting together. It has no merit. Who the fuck... And even if you're going to be talking about it to a soldier, as heartless as it is to say, a soldier is going to mourn the loss of another soldier, but if you don't know that other soldier, it's just another... it's like, oh, well, my great aunt died. I met her once, maybe?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what it is. It sucks, but... It's the same no matter where you go to. Every country, every place, nobody cares about any of the soldiers. Even the soldiers don't care about other soldiers unless you know them, unless they're part of your family. That's when it hits home. That's when people start saying, oh fuck, we should actually do something about this.
Yeah.
And that's why I actually think the people that make the decisions to go to war should have to sacrifice something for that war.
Yeah, like their children are the front line.
If it's such a righteous battle, shouldn't you be happy that your kid did that?
Exactly.
Whether died, lived.
It was life or death for this country. That's the only
That's what
reason
I'm
we
saying.
should be declaring war.
The only time that anybody should go to war is if you go yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I do respect about old, like, Roman times and shit like that. That's when it started getting fucked up. Before Roman times, you actually had kings that were in the middle of battles.
Oh, yeah. Like 300.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
Fucking
it
fictional
literally, in the actual reality of what happened, yes, back in that time, the king did go into battle.
Why wouldn't he? He's supposed to be
The king is supposed to be the badass motherfucker.
He's the most fierce warrior you
Exactly.
have. So why wouldn't you want? That's like having your goddamn starting pitcher just sit on the bench all day.
Yep. You don't bring him in when you're already down by 10. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden the goddamn pussification by the Britons or British people where they just fucking stood on the hill and played it like a game of chess.
Yep. I bet you that's exactly where the game Risk came from.
Oh, you know it.
The English point of view of just going, well, send in 2 more legions.
And all they are just pieces on a map.
Yep.
You don't see the
You never even saw the battleground.
No. You didn't see the terrain. You saw it on
Yep.
the map. And it might be a topographical map, but probably not.
I just thought it was funny that in the Revolutionary War where they started picking off British soldiers, or not soldiers, excuse me, British officers,
Yeah.
when they actually started doing snipers. And in fact, wait, a little side story here. Do you know what? That's why they actually call them sharpshooters. Is back in the Revolutionary War, the Sharps rifle came out, and the guys that were using the Sharps rifle were the ones that were they were the
Most
sniper
accurate.
guys. So the term sharpshooter came from guys that were shooting the Sharps rifle.
That's messed up. And then it works because sharp is also kind of synonymous with being accurate,
being
pinpoint,
dead on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Being a sharpshooter is because there was the Sharps rifle that came out that had a cartridge. It was the first one that you could do it, that all you had to do was put that in and then a primer. And boom! Done. And the guys that were doing it, the British were so pissed off because officers were not to be harmed in war. This was what the British felt. Officers were gentlemen.
Oh, yeah, because they're the directors.
Yep. They weren't the participants.
Yeah, they're not the cannon fodder.
Yeah, exactly. So in the Revolutionary War, I thought that was hilarious when I first found that out, that was actually supposed... Like, how dare you, sir?
Yeah.
You were killing the gentlemen that were making sure that this was a gentlemanly war.
Yeah.
Wait. So you're telling me that without these douchebags sitting on a horse, what, these guys were gonna, like, just... Why are we fighting?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. And I'm sorry, but you try to enslave me, it's never going to be gentlemanly.
No.
I don't give a fuck who you are.
My own government can enslave me and have. But
And yeah.
you can't.
Exactly.
Not from across the pond, asshole.
Because with you, I can see the chains that bind. With you, it hurts.
Yeah, apparently not enough, though.
No.
Because if it hurt enough, people would actually change this country. We have become a lot like Britain in the whole aspect of... it used to be to the fact that people knew that the government was afraid of the people. If you fucked the people over, the people came and hung you.
Yeah.
Government used to be incredibly afraid of people. In fact, there was more than one politician even in this country that got lynched, that got shot, that got stabbed. I mean, in previous years, shit used to go down when somebody fucked over the constituents that they were, serving.
Yeah, as well it fucking should be.
And now
I don't condone any violence to any politicians. But
No, I'm not saying to.
But
what I am saying is, at this point, it should still be to the point that the government should still be afraid of the people. Because we vastly outnumber them.
And I'm not, we're not saying to hurt any politicians. All I'm saying is there needs to be consequences.
Yeah. whether not being reelected, which doesn't seem to happen because everybody votes for the goddamn face that they know or the name that they know.
Exactly.
Or the fucking money that they see get thrown at them because... And I think that's the materialistic of this country, is people actually look at it and say, well, he threw, $80 billion at different commercials. Obviously, he can get shit done. They don't realize that, especially with the super PAC bullshit, the Koch brothers can throw $4 million his way without any repercussions. And nobody even has to know about it.
Yeah.
They don't have to funnel only $100,000 his way anymore, and then another $100,000 with the broke company, and another $100,000 with the shadow company, and I mean, yeah, they always did throw $4 million at it.
Exactly.
But it was a lot harder for them to do it. Now they can literally write a check and put it in there, and nobody can tell because they can't, or they don't have to. I'm sorry, they can if they want,
but who will?
Exactly.
That's the whole fucking
point. They made it so cloak and dagger that at this point every fucking American should be pissed off. It's like our country is getting stolen out from underneath us a little at a time, and everybody is getting the information, but nobody's obtaining the information.
Well, there's a few groups of people that have it kind of all encompassed, but of course, those are the craziest fuckers. Those are the ones screaming like Woody Harrelson in the movie 2012, where it's just like, they're all the crackpots. They're all crazy fuckers like me that are going to lay out the facts. They're going to lay out.
But the difference is people like I'm not saying this in a bad way, but people like you actually lay it out in a way that it doesn't intimidate them because they can always use the conspiracy theorist.
Oh, exactly.
Like, see, that's the difference. If somebody like me, who's just a fucking loudmouth asshole, if somebody like me starts shouting at them, they take me a lot more seriously than they take you. And you have proof. You have everything to back it up. But they don't care. Because all they're going to do is look at you and go, fucking conspiracy theory. Yeah, Contra was real. Exactly. They're going to do that. Because they're just going to prey on the mass majority are stupid enough to believe that they're true.
Oh, yeah.
So that's all they care about. Whoever conspiracy theory, bullshit, whatever. You can have fact, you can have proof, and they're still going to say that you're bullshit and people are going to believe it. Me, on the other hand, I'm just loud. That's what they hate.
Yeah.
Because I'm the kind of guy that'll go to a fucking debate and start yelling shit out, being like, what about this asshole? And have some dude be like, can we get some get him over here? Yeah. This was not the question.
Moderator, can we get some decorum in the audience, please? This is supposed to be a civil debate to exchange ideas.
Yeah. That's the fun part. They'll just completely write me off and have me escorted out the building. Yeah. But I'm the person that they fear. Because I'm not the one that spouts out, well, I know this for a fact. I'll ask him a fucking question.
Yeah.
And that's what they get pissed off about. You spout facts at them and they don't care. They'll look at it and go, everybody can look that up.
Yes, please, everybody look that up.
Exactly, but they won't.
And lynch this bastard.
But they won't.
Exactly. And they'll take Homeboy's word that's scoffing at you.
A guy like me, literally, no basis whatsoever. I could stand up at a press conference and go, I heard you got a blowjob from, and all of a sudden, I'm enemy number one.
Yeah.
A guy like you that has proof, has backgrounds, has interviews, has affidavits signed, notarized, a guy like you, and they're just going, conspiracy theorist.
Why'd you spend so much time on that bullshit?
Exactly. A guy like me, though, that's just willing to stand up and say whatever the fuck I want to say just to shut them up or fuck them up.
Dude, it was like that.
Isn't that weird?
It is fucking weird. But it's like that badass in the Super Bowl when he crashed the MVP's press conference and said, a 9/11 was an inside job. Yeah. This was the most highly secured Super Bowl ever.
They had anti-terrorism units.
What does that say about the so-called security state we reside in? It's a fucking illusion.
Well, they were even saying they had CIA there, they had FBI there,
But
they had
but
all that shit.
Homeboy walks right in
Yeah.
and spouts anti-American rhetoric, terrorist rhetoric. Because according to the powers that
Yeah,
be,
wasn't he almost like charged with terrorist threats or something
I don't
like
know
that?
what, dude. That shit was squashed so quick.
No. I remember hearing out of Huffington Post because they kept up on
Well,
that.
yeah,
That
but I
he
mean,
was charged with what was it? Public lewdness or public. What am I trying to say? Basically, just being extremely loud and public disturbance. That's what I was trying to say.
Disorderly conduct, kind of.
Yes,
bullshit.
public disturbance is what he was actually charged with.
He wasn't in public
Because he wasn't part of the press, and he wasn't part of the athletes that were getting interviewed. So since he didn't have that press pass, he shouldn't have been there. And that's his fault that security let him in there.
It's not his fault. It's a lapse.
That's what I don't understand is, don't you pay people to screen this?
Exactly.
So why is it my fault that I got in there? If I just stumble into a room and went, oh, okay, I'm going in here.
What they closed down like a mile around the stadium where cars couldn't even fucking drive by it. But this guy gets in and says 9/11's an inside job. What that tells me everything that I needed to know about the security state and everything I've been bitching about for years. Because what was it in 2003?
It's all a shell.
Yeah, when I was in 2003, when I was in New York, when my family, we went there for a vacation, we actually went to the Statue of Liberty. And to get on the ferry to go to the Statue of Liberty, you basically had to stand in this goddamn cattle slaughtering line and go through all this bullshit, take off your shoes, get practically strip searched. And as I'm in the line, I am just spouting this shit this security is complete bullshit. The terrorists are our government. What are they trying to stop? And my stepdad and mom were just like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You're going to get us kicked off this fucking ferry and arrested. I'm like, hey, I'm just telling the fucking truth.
This is
bullshit. This is bullshit.
That's what'll happen, though.
100% bullshit. And what right there, it just proves to you, all their security measures mean nothing. And even the TSA came out in a memo and said that they have stopped 0 terrorist attacks, and their job is not actually to stop terrorist attacks.
Yeah.
Their job is to get you, the American citizen, to be acclimated to being treated like a fucking slave. To be dehumanized in the naked body scanners and just treated like you're the scum of the earth. That's what they're doing. They're acclimating us to when we get sent to the FEMA camps and fucking, imprisoned for being Americans. Because the globalist bankers want to take it all from us, and we're going to fight back. That's just there's no two ways about it. That's what's going to happen.
I would just like our viewers to know that another keg has been cashed.
Ching ching!
I don't know why I said viewers. I should have said listeners.
Yes.
I mean listener. And that's me.
Exactly. Well, Sam, your keg has been
I
cashed.
know. I'm going to cry once again when I listen to this again.
I remember that.
I remember that one.
It was so
signed for it. June.
Yeah. Signed, sealed, delivered.
It was so good. Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Bullshit part is I'm not going to be able to get another one until next Tuesday. So I'm going to be kegless for a week.
You're going to have to start buying bottles again. Some bottles and cans.
Maybe I'll go to a different store.
Yeah, see if you can get a comparison shop. Be like, well, I'm getting it for this over there. What are you going to do?
Oh, no, I'll just go to another store and say, you can get it, right?
And just pay whatever they want.
Yeah, this whole episode started to be turning out, I guess, being a history lesson as well as a social lesson.
God damn.
Social studies and history in one fucking lesson.
You know what story also?
We gotta start teaching people that come here to try to be Americans, I guess. We got good on this shit.
All those,
they will never pass their test, but they will at least know what's happening.
Like all those illegal aliens coming across the border.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you heard about that in the news? What the fuck is that all about? Actually, I know exactly what that's
But
all
you
about.
talk to the Republicans and they're, oh, well, this is, in the last 2 years, there's been more people that have actually gone across the border the other way. You fucking kidding me? There's never been a point in history where fucking more people have gone to Mexico than come across the other way.
Yeah, but
whatever. Have you heard that, though? They've been saying that shit lately. I can't believe that. They've actually been saying that shit for the last 2 years. It's statistically proven that there's been more people that have gone across from U.S. to Mexico than Mexico to U.S.
Why do you think that is? Because America's failing.
It's bullshit, though. It's not happening.
Well, it was,
I still see border wars on goddamn, what is it, history, national, I don't know.
Yeah, but what's messed up about this whole situation is these immigrants, fuck undocumented immigrants, I'm not even going to say that, because that's
this is a dumb term.
That's flowering up what they are. They're illegal aliens. That's what they are. Are they here legally?
By law, that's what they are.
No, but everybody tries to spin it. Undocumented illegals. No, they're fucking the undocumented immigrants. No, they're illegal aliens. Don't twist it. And I don't give. They're coming from like Central America and South America.
Yeah.
They're not even. How are these kids with no parents getting on trains and crossing through an entire country?
No idea. Because they're being shipped up here like cattle.
Why?
Because they believe that kids won't get sent back. And they don't.
And they don't. And me personally, I think this is a systemic issue that they're actually allowing to happen to bankrupt our country. To get everybody dependent on the state. Because independence...
Thousands and thousands and thousands of kids are being now paid for by the government.
Exactly. And guess what these kids are going to do when they become legal voting age? They came from despots. Mm-hmm. They came from third world countries. So they're going to have absolutely...
This is the exact same thing that's happened to every powerful nation in history, though. Is that people start actually breeding like crazy, and then the power to be tries to keep the power, and another revolution starts. It happens every single fucking cycle of a power. You look at Roman times, you look at Egyptian times.
But this issue isn't about breeding.
No. It's not about breeding at all. What I'm trying to say is this happens every single time there's a major power. People automatically think, if I go there, I'll get a better life. So they go there. And after a while, there's so much chatter about, well, yeah, this person went there for a better life, and they haven't come back yet, so apparently they have a better life. And, you know, over a couple generations, people start talking about, yeah, so many people have gone there, they've never come back, so apparently they have a better life. And it's the same thing that it's happening now. Now it's happening in places like Guatemala and, you know, like you were saying, south of Mexico. But it doesn't happen in any other form than just word of mouth. Is people saying, well, if you do this, they'll have a better life.
Well, with what's happening now with America... is the word of mouth is going, hey, did you hear Obama?
They'll take your kids and they'll have a better life.
And did you hear Obama said that basically you just get them here and then they turn them loose in the United States and send them. And then our tax dollars literally are used to bust these illegals to anywhere they fucking want to go. Could you imagine if I showed up in Mexico and said, where's my free health care?
Yeah.
Where's my house? I'd get shot.
Can you send me home?
Yeah, they wouldn't even send you home.
No. They would just kick you in the ass and go home.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not being racist at all. All I'm saying is logistically...
Show up in any other country in the world and say, I want this.
Yeah, but why... And people that... They just demand it. And you know why they're doing it? Is, like I said before, it is designed to bankrupt this country.
But it is the American way. And don't think that it's just immigrants or anybody who's trying to get here. No. Fucking look at any kid at any retail store and being like, I want that! Seriously.
Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It was started here. So I can't be pissed at anybody else who's saying, I want this. Fuck. This country started excess.
Yeah.
I mean, England had a good grasp of what excess could be.
So did the French.
I will give you that. And, well, the Spanish, the Italians, basically, anything that came into power.
If you have nothing to do,
I'm just going to say it this way. This country perfected excess. There is no way in hell that one person should hold the wealth of a country.
Yeah.
But we have multiple people that hold the wealth of numerous countries. I mean, when you start talking about a guy like Bill Gates, who literally has hundreds of billions of dollars in his own private wealth, as well as his stock in the company.
And his foundation.
Yeah. You're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars. I would probably put you this one. I don't know if this is correct, but I would probably say this. 90% of countries don't have that as their national gross. I mean, he has more money than 90% of the countries of the world do, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I mean, when you start looking at a guy who could literally fund his own army and do it fairly well, being like, nah, I'm going to take a couple nuclear submarines, and, you know, like, he could literally fund this.
How scary would that be, Bill Gates' army?
I bet you they don't have buzz cuts.
Yeah.
Shot at your hair, Bill!
You suck.
Fucking $100 billion, and you still get an $8 haircut. That's horrible.
You know,
Quit looking at that one magazine and going, that's the one.
You're not David Spader in 1983.
That's what I'm saying.
David Spader? James Spader. Isn't it James Spader? I'm confused.
What?
I said David Spader.
No, David Spade. That's the dude that was with Chris Farley all the time. And yes, he had horrible hair. And still does.
It's James Spader.
Yes.
As
David
what
Spade,
I mixed
though.
it up with. Okay.
I thought you were going with David Spade.
I was trying to. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I'm just glad I made a reference that hit on some
At least
level.
I hope that's David Spade.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I
We
just,
cast your keg. That's where my mind is at.
yeah, well, I just kind of brought this to a fucking screeching halt. But I kind of want to get into fucked up Floridian news because I have a pretty good one that's funny just to close it out.
All right, well, let's do that.
All right, let me get this dialed up quick. All right.
Fucked up Floridian news.
Yep. So the headline is Florida man hacks roadside LED sign. You know, like those construction signs like "Caution, road work ahead," or
Hacks it as in, like computer hacks it?
yeah,
Or-
computer hacks it.
Okay.
And changes the message to say "fuck her in the pussy."
Wow.
Check it out. They got actual like video of it on the local news where
Fuck her right in the pussy.
fuck her right in the pussy. How badass is that?
Oh.
God, I can't wait till more people start hijacking those things. And hacking into them. The shit that'll be on the roadways in this country will be astounding. It'll be like, how many characters do those things allow? Probably only like 12 to 20.
I don't know.
Fucking, it'll be like,
I don't know.
It'll be like the new age Twitter. Get your little message out there.
140. What can I
Yeah.
do in that?
What can you do in that? But I found this on the Florida Man Twitter account. Did I ever tell you about this?
No.
Dude, this is one of the funniest Twitter accounts ever. It's just random headlines about, you know, basically that start with like Florida man does this. Because, you know, that one says Florida man hacks LED sign, says changes it to fucker right in the pussy. And like other ones they have is like Florida man says he was held hostage by crazed cat named Kush. Florida man steals police cruiser with hands handcuffed behind his back.
Nice!
Florida man traps 12-foot python in barbecue grill.
Did he barbecue him?
I don't think so.
Oh, you should.
Florida man caught stealing alcohol with dog said he just broke a dog out of jail. So you know he
Oh
busted
my
the
God.
dog out of the
Yeah.
pound. Like,
Yeah.
all right, Fido, now let's get wasted.
Your first day out, what do you want to do? The dog said, let's get lit.
This one's hilarious. Florida man rescued after attempting to wrestle alligator. Claimed alligator ate dog, and he was looking for revenge.
Oh, I would too. That's just hilarious, though. How could you get... What, you're gonna get arrested for wrestling an alligator?
Apparently.
Wow!
That's what I don't get. How was that like endangering an animal?
I've kicked a goose before and not gotten arrested.
Kicked a goose. Were there any cops around?
Oh, none that I
You
saw.
would have gotten arrested if you'd have kicked a goose right in its gander.
Fucker came at me. Apparently he had a nest around or something. He came at me and I was like, get the fuck off me. And he kept pecking me, so I kicked him. He left. It was good. It was good after that. We were right there.
Saw him the next day. We were fucking
That's
kosher.
what I'm saying. I understand. You're just passing through.
Yep. Florida man arrested after asking Best Buy employees to transfer child porn to new computer.
Wow.
That is
Wow.
stupid or badass.
I'm not sure that you can clarify that one as being stupid Floridian news or just stupid fucking news.
No, and it happened in Florida, so that's fucked up.
It did happen in Florida, I will say that, but that could happen anywhere because there's a lot of fucking idiots.
Yeah, like this guy. Florida man storms into stranger's house, exposes buttocks, licks door.
Whoa. Storms into a house, shows his ass,
And then
licks
the door. Yep. Should I actually click on
Yeah, I think we need that one.
You need to go in
I
depth
think
on
we
that
need
one.
that one. I want to know why he licked that door after showing his butt.
That's real.
I gotta have a
fucking
reason
door?
why he would just show his ass and be like, "Your door tastes awesome."
That is hilarious. All right, so the article goes: an intoxicated St. Petersburg woman tried to use a police car as a taxi cab early Sunday morning. This must be a completely different story. Oh, this one is. Sorry, they had like a bunch of different ones in the article. Man in undies tried to enter home, police say. A drunk man in his underwear was arrested early Sunday morning after he tried to get into St. Petersburg home, police said. Vincent Anthony Antonelli, 21, was arrested in the 600 blah, 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 blah. And resident woke up the homeowner, arrested. Drunk man. Okay. This is the one it is. Sorry. Finally fucking found it. Jesus. This is
So he's not in his underwear.
Nope. This is in
He
Jacksonville.
just got there.
A Jacksonville man mistook a residence of Treasure Island for a friend's house last month. When the homeowner asked him several times to leave, the man exposed his buttocks and licked the door while yelling to be let inside and arrest. Oh, so the guy was outside.
I still don't understand why they don't give any kind of description.
No.
What the fuck, reporters? Do some background work.
Oh shit. So I'm assuming the dude's all whiskey, banging on the guy's door. The homeowner comes to it, it's looking through the peephole or the side window, and it's like, "You can't fucking come in." He's like, "Well, not you, buddy." Shows his ass and then just goes, because that's
very bad description.
yeah.
though.
Thankfully, it wasn't the doorknob. You know how many fucking germs would be on there? Ugh.
That's not where I was thinking on that.
Well, I was just kind
Still
of.
licked the fucking door.
Police find $400 in drug money in Florida man's rectum.
Wow.
Damn near killed
How
him.
do you know it was drug money?
Smelled like coke.
And ass. You know what?
Yep.
Yeah, that's his ass, but I smell coke on that too.
Oh,
Yep. Coke on that.
Florida man spends 5 hours driving dead grandmother around nudist colony.
Oh, that's just sad.
That is.
It's probably her last wish. Drive me nude.
Florida man tells deputies he wasn't masturbating in park. Tries to dispose of Vaseline when they're not looking.
What the fuck?
That is great. Oh, this one is really good. Florida man loses job as deputy. The Florida man loses his job as deputy after he lets drunk friend heckle women through patrol car's loudspeaker. Show me them titties, girl! I'm the fucking police!
She's okie dokie. That's all I can think about is Ursula!
Oh my god. That is too funny. Florida man intentionally shoots himself with gun he smuggled into prison so he can sue the government.
That's what the fuck you get.
Florida man forced to apologize on Facebook for cannonballing on manatee.
Cannonballing on a manatee?
Cannibalizing. I'm like, that's grizzled.
What a douchebag.
He was a manatee and he ate a manatee. It should have been Florida manatee, not Florida man.
Did you eat one?
No, but I thought it said cannibalizing, not cannonballing. So
That's a douchebag move.
What's a sea cow?
Well, why would you fucking cannonball on him?
Because he's a fucking idiot.
That's why I said it's a douchebag move.
You know what's a real douchebag move?
Cut his balls off. He should not reproduce.
Florida man says he was joking when he doused his wife with gasoline and tried to set her on fire.
Oh, come on. Who hasn't done that? Who hasn't done that?
I'm not married. I wouldn't know. I'm assuming...
Come on. That's a classic, though. It really is. It really is.
It's a fucking classic.
It's just one of those, oh, who's got the matches now? I'm just kidding, babe. Take a shower. Oh, no. Yeah, see, I'm just saying. Who hasn't?
Oh, shit, son. Oh, this one's good. A Florida man crashes into CNN headquarters in Atlanta. That's good.
How did a Florida guy crash into Atlanta? Shit. Well, I suppose it's right above, but...
Yeah, he's probably from Florida. Florida man arrested at library for making meth.
At the library?
Yeah.
Like he was making meth at the library?
Yeah. And then, separate story, not at all connected, but Florida man arrested at the beach for making meth.
How do you make meth in a library?
Like
he was like, I can't check this out because I don't have a card, but I'd really like these instructions.
A book on how to make meth. Oh, that dude looks haggard. I just saw his photo.
Fuck do you make?
It's an accused couple. So there's a man
at a library?
Yeah, that were making the meth at the library.
Fucked up.
That is messed up. They're taken into custody after the narcotics detective reported observing one of the suspects removing several objects used to manufacture meth from a backpack. A search of the library grounds found 2 bottles of Coleman fuel, lithium batteries, and tubing. So basically they were like just doing it outside of the library, not in it. God damn these
horrible
sensational headlines. That's why it's almost better just to read the headlines and move on.
Yeah,
because when you actually get into the story, you're like, that's not at all that funny.
Yeah.
Florida man arrested for sending X-rated selfies of himself in lingerie to random cop.
Wrong number there, huh?
Yeah. Florida man
should have been 7. Should have been 7.
Florida man tries to throw weed away, hits deputy with it.
Well,
dude, that's the best one. I can see some guy just fucking blotto out of his mind.
Yep.
Grabs his bag of weed as the cops right in his window. Oh shit, man! I wasn't expecting.
He's the fucking cycle cop being like, "Pull over!" right in the face. Almost knocked me off my bike, motherfucker.
Like Jack Black and Anchorman with the burrito in his face. What the fuck, brosif?
I could see that shit. That'd be hilarious. Pull over! It's Cardigan. Thanks for asking.
Oh, shit. Well, I think it's about time for the revolution, huh?
I think so. I'm almost out of material. In fact, when I say almost, I'm pretty much done.
Almost out of material, almost out of beer. That means it's time to be almost out of the pod.
I guess so.
Well, until next time, kiddies, come the revolution.